കേരള നിയമസഭ സംഘടിപ്പിക്കുന്ന നാഷണൽ വിമൻ ലെജിസ്ലേറ്റേഴ്സ് കോൺഫറൻസ് 2022 ഇന്ത്യയുടെ പല പ്രദേശത്തു നിന്നായി ധാരാളം വനിതാ സാമാജികർ ഒത്തുകൂടിയിരുന്നു. അവരിലൊരാളാണ് ഇന്ന് നമ്മോടൊപ്പമുള്ളത്. ശ്രീമതി ഋതു ഖണ്ഡൂരി ഭൂഷൺ. ഉത്തരാഖണ്ഡിൻ്റെ ചരിത്രത്തിൽ, നമ്മുടെ ഇന്ത്യയുടെ നിയമ സംവിധാനത്തിൻ്റെ ചരിത്രത്തിൽ ഒരു നാഴികക്കല്ലായി മാറിയിരിക്കുന്ന പേരാണ് ശ്രീമതി ഋതു ഖണ്ഡൂരി ഭൂഷൺ. ആദ്യമായി ഉത്തരാഖണ്ഡിന് ലഭിച്ച വനിതാ സ്പീക്കർ. വളരെ പ്രഗത്ഭനായ മുൻ കേന്ദ്രമന്ത്രി ജനറൽ BC ഖണ്ഡൂരിയുടെ പുത്രിയും കൂടിയാണ് ശ്രീമതി ഋതു ഖണ്ഡൂരി ഭൂഷൺ.
Ritu Khanduri, the first woman speaker of Uttarakhand State Assembly and BJP's member of the Uttarakhand State Legislative Assembly from Kotdwar. Ritu Khanduri Bhushan is the daughter of former Uttarakhand Chief Minister General Bhuvan Chandra Khanduri, an MLA since 2017 and also the president of Uttarakhand BJP Mahila Morcha.
Welcome, ma'am, to the session.
Thank you.
Ma'am, your election campaign was rooted for social empowerment as well as sustainable development.
Yes.
After a glorious victory, will this be a new chapter for Uttarakhand?
Yes, I think so. When I fought my elections from a constituency known as Kotdwar, I would also like to mention here, Kotdwar is a place which is also known as Kanav Nagri, and the country got its name from Raja Bharat, and he was born in my constituency. So yes, when I won my election from Kotdwar, this was my new constituency, and within 12 days I campaigned and I won. And it is women empowerment because in Kotdwar, more than men, it is women who voted for me. 5,000 more women voted. So yes, I'm looking at it as a big jump for women in the entire state of Uttarakhand. 38 constituencies in Uttarakhand, more women voted compared to men. So when I look at the elections of 2022, I feel that women are now slowly getting empowered, and then I was made the first women speaker of Uttarakhand. So that immediately, sort of, rewarded the women. They were extremely happy in Uttarakhand. They started reading about what is a speaker, who is a speaker, because I think many women maybe were not interested or did not know. But since I got elected unanimously as the Speaker of Uttarakhand Assembly, women got interested in this post, and they started reading about me and started telling me, that we are really happy and glad. So yes, it is social empowerment for women.
Ma'am, as the Speaker of the Uttarakhand State Legislative Assembly, do you face any gender-specific challenges?
See, I've just started. I have just done a session of 3 days, but I haven't experienced that as yet. Though we can say that there is this kind of thing which happens in India, all over the country, in all kinds of fields. Not only as a politician we face this gender bias. It is all over. It is in all fields. But to say that I am facing some kind of gender bias, as yet, no. I am an educated woman. I have taught for a long number of years. So I don't think I will face it, and if I face it, then I will, take it on.
Okay. Ma'am, a very interesting question because you are wearing a Rudraksh.
Yeah.
Could you please elaborate me about your spiritual, perspective?
I do pray, but it is, and I do fast, but it has nothing to do with, I believe that there is a super being. I believe in God. I visited your Padmanabha temple here, and I enjoyed my visit, and it was enriching experience for me. So, God is someone who is a friend to me. If I have to, talk to him, I just talk to him. And it's not that I'm very, very religious or, I'm spiritual, but not very religious. Yes, I believe that in my political career, in my life, that being God has played a major role. I was brought into a new constituency, and I have been a Hanuman Bhakt for a long time. And people do say, Hanuman Bhakt? Why should you be a Hanuman Bhakt? Hanuman is a brahmachari. So I say, what rubbish, you know, I just love that God and I want to, you know, read the Hanuman Chalisa. So I have, you know, raised eyebrows, particularly men raise their eyebrows and say, आप हनुमान को कैसे मानती हैं? So I've said कि, you know, it's a God I like, and Kotdwar, incidentally, is the place of Siddha Bali also. So it's the famous Hanuman temple there. So I somehow believe, you know, God has played a major role in my political career, of course in my life too, but especially in my political career. So yes, I am spiritual. I do believe that there is a higher being that has, you know, somehow been a part of my life.
Ma'am, you often point out that, you know, the importance of a mother and a teacher in the society.
Yes.
So why do you believe so?
See, I believe that the child, after the child is born, the first guru for that child is the mother, because the child is with the mother 24/7. Then comes the teacher, school. If out of 24 hours, the child is in school for 8 hours and then another 8 to 10 hours with the mother, I believe that it is the responsibility of the mother and the teacher to give the values to the child. Because as a child, I remember my father was in the army, he retired from the army, and constantly we were told what is good, what is bad, why the electricity, why the, when you move out of the room, why the fan should be switched off, or while, why you should not leave anything on the plate. If you take something to eat, everything should be eaten. Your cupboard should be clean. You should respect your elders. When your elder walks into the room, please stand up. So these were constant things I heard from my parents, from my teachers. As a child, I did not like it. I was constantly complaining to myself. Of course, we could not complain to our parents because it was a different generation. But yes, I was constantly complaining to myself, what kind of father is he? What kind of mother? Constantly they're telling me, clean your cupboard, stand up when somebody comes in. But today, whatever I am, and I believe I'm a good citizen for this country, is because my parents gave me the values. My teachers gave me the values to be a good citizen for this country. So yes, it is extremely important, and I keep saying, I keep harping is the word, because I believe I need to harp. I need to constantly tell women that we are responsible for what kind of citizens go into the society, particularly boys. When a girl comes in late, kyun late aayi? When a girl is wearing a particular cloth, why are you wearing this? There are constant fights at home where the father may be abusing the mother. We need to tell our sons, we need to tell our boys that this is wrong behavior. The minute a woman, a mother, agrees to get beaten up or get abused, she is telling her son that this is the right behavior for any person. So once we stop that, we need to stop it. As a mother, as a teacher, I need to tell my child that this is wrong behavior. And only then will the child or the boy realize, or the son realize, that this is wrong. Because after all, a child is like मिट्टी का होता है, जिस तरह से घुमा दोगे, जैसे मोल्ड कर दोगे, वो वैसे बनेगा. Since I've also taught, I realize that kids will do what you want to do, but there is a way of talking to them, there's a way of telling them. So yes, mother and the teacher are responsible for how the society is going to be and how the citizens of this country are going to be. I believe in that.
Despite all these, women empowerment schemes, all this enlightening process, still we have very few representation in the power making, decision making authorities.
Yeah.
Especially in the legislatures and all.
Yeah.
So what is your opinion about
Yes,
that?
I agree with you. There is underrepresentation of women in political circles. Of course, it is slowly improving. Slowly we are, particularly if I talk of Uttarakhand Panchayat Chunav, where women fight elections, where people fight elections to win positions. And today in 2022, you will be delighted to know we have we have 13 districts, and out of 13 districts, 11 women presidents in the Jilla Panchayat. Yes, in the legislative assemblies, we need to bring in more and more women, and I hope the resolution that was decided would be passed from this conference about 33% reservation bill being passed in the parliament. I hope it happens, because women, if given the opportunity, can do very well in these positions and in the posts, and are doing well. But yes, we need more women in the parliament, we need more women in the state assemblies.
Women are traditionally strong-willed in Uttarakhand. In the past, one of the manifestations of the women power was in the environmental protection movements, especially the Chipko Andolan. Stories of how women used to hug trees in front of encroachers have enthralled environmental activists across the world. But now we are hearing about rising environmental degradation in Uttarakhand. How is it happening despite women gathering more political power, especially at the local bodies level?
See, what is happening is, yes, we were responsible for Chipko movement. Now you need to realize in Kerala also we have forests, we have trees, you know. The problem is what I see now when I'm in the field. See, when you're outside the situation, you do not realize how tough it is to live in environments where there are forests and there are no facilities. In 2017, when I was new to politics and naive, I would say, I would also talk of, you know, we need to increase the forest space, we need to you know, look after our animals. And while campaigning, I was in some village. I was about to reach a village. I had reached the village. I was about to get out of my car, and I heard a woman screaming. And this person who was sitting with me, he was of course a Karyakarta, he said, "Baag aa gaya." And baag means lion has come. And you will not believe, in front of our eyes, a 4-year-old child was picked up by the baag and taken away. And we couldn't find the child. That is the time it struck me that human life has to be at the top. And then our jungles, and then our environment, and then everything else. I saw that mother crying. Yes, we need the environment. Yes, degradation is happening. We need to protect our forests, we need to protect our trees, but at the same time, we need to respect the thought processes of the human being. We have to understand that there has to be, you know, some kind of middling, where we say forests are important, but where we also say human life is very, very important. What is happening in Uttarakhand is that we are, you know, with the NGT and the Supreme Courts and the officers, all siding with forests, all siding with environment. But what about human life? So we have to understand, yes, our water is important, our forests are important, because if we do not have trees, if we do not look after our environment, water is going to be an issue, so many different things. But somehow we need to explain it to the people first. Chipko movement happened because women realized that, you know, we need to protect our trees. But in today's environment, people are anti-trees. They don't understand, why can't we have a road? Why can't we have electricity in our villages? Just because we are a part of forest does not give the right to people to say, nahi, aapko jungle mein hai, you will not get, you know, you will not get roads. So we have to look at somehow, you know, dono ke beech mein some kind of, we should, you know, understand both the parties. And then do something where forests can be protected, but at the same time, humans protect the forests. Rights, you know, rules and regulations and laws will not protect your forest. It is the human which will protect your forest, and that is where I think we are failing. We need to tell people, that yes, you are extremely important. If need be, we will cut a tree for that. We will protect you first. You know, constituencies earlier also, now we are surrounded by forest. And when you are surrounded by forest, you are not allowed development. Why? Am I not allowed development? And if you do not allow me, I will not let your forests survive. So we have to understand the mindset of the people before we make these rules and regulations. So what I see is too many rules, too many regulations, too many laws, but there is कोई आपस में बातचीत नहीं है. There is no talk. Should have rules, but I think unless you take people into confidence, these rules and regulations will be flouted. So we have to understand, and we have to make our people understand that environment is important, extremely important, but human life is also important.
Could you please summarize your experience about Kerala as a concluding?
All right, sure. It was a enriching experience from me. As I mentioned yesterday, I was sharing the stage with women whom I've seen when I was in college and were inspirations to me. And I would also like to thank your honorable speaker, Mr. M.B. Rajesh, for organizing this, for thinking that he could do this. It is an excellent thought for a man to think this. So we see that things are changing. To organize such a lovely conference in Kerala. It was a pleasure to be here and to listen to various aspects and various views. We had Kanimori ji, we had Brinda Karaji, and youngsters. We had a transport minister from Puducherry, I think, a young girl. So it was nice to interact with them. I met your mayor, young 22-year-old, and I was really impressed. She's looking after almost 100 wards in Kerala. So it was an enriching experience. I loved being here. It was a learning experience for me.